December 31st and January 1st, for me, it's basically about the decisions you make as you transition. I know the feeling of, oh, it's a new year, you feel like, oh, let's start afresh and all of that. It doesn't mean you forget everything you did last year or yesterday, which was last year. It doesn't mean you would abandon every project you were working on to start a new one. It doesn't mean you would abandon every dream to start to, nurse a new one. It doesn't mean you would abandon every vision you have to nurse a new one. It's basically just trying to like tidy up things. And maybe some of the things you felt like you could have done better last year, maybe you are the type that procrastinate a lot. Some of the things you felt like you should have done immediately, and then you start to push it, or maybe some of the decisions you should have taken, or maybe some decisions you took that you should have probably just sat back and think about those decisions twice before you make those decisions. Those business opportunities that you didn't look twice before you jumped into, that eventually burnt your fingers, in quotes. I think that's just what that transition tells us. There's nothing to another year on the show, another time, Monday to Friday, 4 to 5:30. Well, or you never can tell. 30, just maybe. We could run from maybe 4 to 6. But more than anything else, I want to specially thank you again for being a part of the production the entire year. The whole 52 weeks, 365 days, except 2 days off, which is the weekend. This show did not fail one day. You are the reason why we're still in business. So I want to especially welcome you to a new year. Happy New Year to you. I know a lot of us from our various places of worship, churches, even mosque and all of that. There's been a lot that have been said into the year for us. Oh, it will be a year of open doors, a year of reward, a year of this, a year of that. The most important thing is that you have to get into the year with the right mindset. Today is Thursday. I know there will still be a lot of festivities going on from now till maybe into the weekend. And by Monday, they would always say that the action would start. But from us here, the show must go on. There's no holiday. The same way police stations don't go on public holiday, we are also always here. Thank you. My name is The Situation. That's why we call it The Situation Room. Issues around development, politics, policies, governance, accountability in public and private space. Issues that affect our daily existence as a people, especially as we constantly demand for good governance, equality and human rights, and dividends of democracy from the people that we submitted our mandate to. Your voting decision is a conversation for another day. And on the show this year, we're going to really focus on how we make our voting decisions. I'm not going to come on here, put on the mic and tell you to vote for candidate A or candidate B. No. We don't do that here, except of course it's paid and maybe election campaign. You would come in and talk about yourself. But I'm going to talk to you and engage you on what should form your decision when you are making your political decision on that day decision. So when they say election have consequences, we should always know that without proper education, or you didn't do it with the right enlightenment. Is my friend's uncle. If he wins the election, life will be easy for me because I know his friend. If those are the things that will push you into making those decisions, you will feel the impact. The inaction is when you don't even vote at all. At least the person that even voted, at least that one can say, I voted because the candidate is Hausa and I'm also Hausa. They'll go through the pressure. They will call and say, please help us beg INEC. They should extend voters registration. At the end of the day, they would register. Oh, we've not been able to pick up our people. Travel the day before election. They come back on Sunday. It's a free weekend, right? Some of them will even play ball, just stay indoors on election day. Then when the government get involved, it's a social contract. Did you sign that contract? Did you submit your franchise to this individual that you are saying they are not working? So when we say actions and inactions, this is exactly what we're talking about. You decide to be inactive during election. You didn't listen to campaign. You're not a member of any political party. You didn't attend any rally. You didn't question any of the candidates. You didn't do anything. And on election day, you also didn't vote. But you have the PVC. And when the consequences of that action you didn't take now start, these are the things we're going to really focus on, especially the year in 2025. Mr. Omiwadeyemi joins me on the show today because it's Thursday, first edition of the show for the year. And when we had this show on Tuesday, he's our man of the year. I said, okay, of sentinelnews.ng. It's an online news platform. You can always check them out to the new year and start that conversation with this year. The 2019 Peter Gregory will be officially resigned from the Labour Party yesterday and decamped to the African Democratic Congress. For the coalition topped that agenda. Maybe when you look at the state of emergency, the sense of the ADC was really big last year because a lot of people didn't see it coming, and then people started moving to the ADC from Atiku Abubakar to Aregbesola to Rotimi Amechi to El-Rufai, and people were like, what exactly is going on? A party that gave him the platform, Atiku Abubakar with 6.8 million, and the Alase Mutwang also announced his resignation from the PDP, making it the nice one we're stepping. So it's a new year, the 1st of January 2026, and I say Happy New Year to you.
Good afternoon, officers. I hope that's going to be a prosperous year for all of us. And indeed, many things will happen in this country politically, economically, but we pray that everything will turn out to be in our favor, no matter what it goes.
So we didn't have a guest. We just wrapped up the conversation for the year. And what I said on the show, what we had was that, okay, talk to us about which of the guests, which of the conversation, his position, his submission. And they said, 2025 was a law in Kwara State, the ambassadorial issue, the Minister of Defense. Are you really looking forward to in 2026 politically, Mr. Adeyemi? Before we start,
background for what is going to happen in 2026. You know, we will have seen, I think, that if they are going to a particular destination, we will have to know what to anticipate. But though, as I said, it's not all the plans that work. What is another thing entirely. What I'm saying is that the movement of people politically is not something that's sudden. We will have seen the arrangement, we will have seen what they are talking about, we will have seen maybe what happened in 2025 is likely to be a different ballgame, because I think politically we've seen a lot of shenanigans and direction some of our politicians at the 2027 election. Whereas this year will give the direction to that election, because the party politics will be so well pronounced. Even the campaign for governorship, for presidential election, the issue of candidates are smarting, I think, to the extent that, I don't know, I think the governors, I think, might be relegated to some extent, because it's going to be a political season where everything that will be done, everything that people will be talking about, and most of the decisions people will make will be politically motivated. I think Nigerians should more to see many honestness of human beings. We look philosophy. I just wanted this, right? So, and how will I get it? So that's what drives our politics. So I think let Nigerians know that it's going to be a year that we are going to see a lot of politics being played at almost every state of.
Just like 2025 had given us a template of what to expect, because the politics, the people that would join the campaign open, and of course so that nothing escapes speed about everything you need to know. Mr. Adeyemi, just as we were closing the year, you would know that Peter Obi's party on their social media platform yesterday, I just read those and I'm like, wow, this is supposed to be the man that gave a lot of the politicians today the opportunity to even win election at all. Because if you look at some of the people that won election, a lot of them would never have come close to winning those elections. But if you look at, she was the announcement yesterday, Mr. Adeyemi, signature, why declare cross-carpeting meant. But how significant is that decision going forward, especially as Nigerians begin to prepare for electioneering and maybe politicking this time around and not exactly governance?
Should we have able to reach their movement to be their next line of action? Purely, simply because the trade is coming to you make some ISB.com statements of the party. Something for them you have to sweat or pay was targeted towards 2023 election. When Peter Obi joined, the other party are supposed to be run or not. No, Peter Obi did not show much interest in that, but let's add the election. But immediately after the election, we saw attempts by Peter Obi and his people have left it that even to allow its members to register, we are talking about Peter Obi, were they card carrying members of the
Labour Party?
No, let's open a new register. I think a lot of people were those politicians. But what did we see? Instead of allowing the national, they said no, they did not allow that. Instead, they went to hold another convention. But so meaning that all the obedient movements, that, as you said, Obi asked about for something in the party, right? Officially. What are we talking about? So what are we talking about? And again, Nigerians should be the meaning in your nation, but they will know you, and they are going to ask people because you are strong in the community. But all these things that Peter Obi wanted to do, the powers that be in the party did not allow me a parallel to the executive. Therefore, that can Peter Obi and the street and people that can be transparent efforts to make it a real party were seriously fought so that no one to corner it. Okay, politically, and there are because even to recruit more members was already a legal matter because the constitution was not a proper means that they made the chance. With election coming now, what chance, what will it be, will have done? If you want to do the ADC, will have been a question. Okay, before the register, then after just put some people to be something to fall back on in case anything like party, make it clean now. We did not have to form a party, but can we say does it have the wherewithal? A matter of conjecture is that year a party work. That's where ideology. You know we have a good principle in that platform to make a great job, and I know some people can contribute as far as do you know we achieve that one. So of course we see as a platform from, as I said from day one, and I want to believe yes, given the art faction in ADC, is it not to Kashiku the president, the last president candidate? In framing that at the party level on the table where you dialogue and come out with what is good for your party, and then the judiciary that will determine which faction is very judiciary to determine your guess is as good as mine. So ADC tomorrow saw it when Adebayo. So what I'm saying is that all this is the politics. We want of us to sit down and put our hands that I think we have in our land. No, we don't want that one. So we want a competition that whoever wins, that Nigerians will not, at the end of the day, will not be taken for granted because there won't be any competition. So that's your candidate. I think it will be, but if they, all of them refuse to push for what their personal interest.
I'll move into the tax conversation, but you made mention of Atiku about the fate of the ADC good, or whether it is Peter Obi and Amici Atiku Abubakar conversation. And if you also look at that, it's difficult 27 to get up onto the scene politically, which I absolutely have been within Nigerian political space for 20 years. It was Senate president from Rotimi Amici, that was 8 years governor, 4 years minister. All of these people have been here for. Could that decision be, Mr. Omiwademi? And the decision is this: should he choose, if he decides to also maybe step down in who picks up the presidential ticket of the ADC?
Something to complete the attack. The end of 2027, some people are saying that to allow. So with that one, that will be an element of balance when we began to have the. So up to now, that no, we can't just isolate other emotions. We are talking of democracy. And let's leave that. No, a lot of work then that ADC is looking that if Atiku at this stage that the way political pendulum is swinging against him. time in such a result. And you know what? There are many utterances that still making him a difficult product to sell. Now, is to get APC out of power. And we have said it, that if this new year with what is happening, okay, I can assure you that if former Vice President Atiku should not ready, and who has
support a candidate
to support and the candidate and ready to support any supporter, and they see what will happen within 24-48 hours. I'm telling you this. The fear now of many people is that if you go to ADC, Atiku, the powers that be there will say they are giving Atiku some case. I think what that person is supposed to achieve for Nigerians. No matter what, I have not seen Peter Obi having the war check to win. I say they want to throw it open to delegates. The accused those states who wanted that time. If they did, so you can see, I mean, you just go to any, how much will it cost to get such now that value? Right. Has something to do with, or their these jobs of them are being recycled. Yeah. From Adegbeshola to outreach, they have the money. Those are the things we are considering. And Nigerians, El-Rufai, at least to speak up. I mean, yes, but to say we belong formally to agency. We are expected to work only the politicians who have here. I think they also recycle their politicians, right? Fresh blood. I think, but what are people that surround them? So, but the point you are making is that Atiku has something to do. And the Igbo leaders not ready to sacrifice their cause. And they also have a kind of a democracy Nigeria desire are wanted.
That Atiku Abubakar will play a key role in how the ADC would eventually form fully. Some of them have said maybe, they are more than anything else. It's move in sense that is moving into the ADC. He moved into the ADC, Mr. Adeyemi, and you know that prior to the 2023 election, we know how many governors the PDP had. We know how many governors have. And it is important to have those big wigs in your party, whether you like it or not. First off, to finance the party. Presidential election in polling units across the federation, you would have to campaign that to command that kind of movement. I think that's what I'm looking for.
Well, I think let me address what's on the ground.
And the reality.
The reality on ground. Ideally, as I think he has discipline, supposed to be our number one person we are putting forward if we were to be in a serious country. You see, I think you will see that sense in what he said. I think there is also to give him a chance. That is ideally. And again, ideally, that we are in a country where people are ready to take ownership of governance and political public your accounts. That without being your party, just be public your party account. And you're supposed to start saying that's where people wanted to take ownership of the political party and governance. But in Nigeria, that is not the case. I think they still believe that whoever wants to go and contest supposed to have had his money. If they're going to have, if Atiku is still there, they're going to have a primary. That we need to chat, we need to, well, so what Kenneth Okonkwo said when he was to leave Atiku. It's like insinuating that Peter Obi wanted to be president and not ready to spend money. He said this. And you and I worked with him directly. Closer, he was very close to him than you and I. If he could not come to the public, were you there to make money?
Or you were there to truly work for him?
Work for him and make Nigeria better. That's the ideal society. But, okay, we are talking politics here. I'm not talking about moral issue, right? Call a world meeting anywhere in Nigeria. Call a world meeting or people that say they are your supporters in your village. Have 3 meetings where they don't need money to transfer themselves. You can just come and gather in a place, right? Have first, second, third meeting.
They will start asking for mobilization.
Start asking for mobilization and call for the first one. What will happen? That some women in one particular local government, I don't want to mention the name, so they mobilize women. People, they use Catholic platform as the one that platform, they add attendance more they anticipated. But when they were going, they shared grace. These women said amen and begin to manipulate.
Hanging around. Should we go or should we stay?
The container enter their vehicle and wait.
Of the people that came before.
And the third one is that. Some told one of the mobilizers that I'm very close to tell you that Nigeria needs to benefit now. So the late gratification is not go as our colleagues see and buy. So not because we didn't like him, politics, unless the powers that did make this, they had let every force were given Peter Obi. But if we were to contest in a free and fair primary, unless the powers that be also try to spend money on his behalf, but I'm afraid for him to win. So people will say that they don't have the money. Election, they had the other Labour Party, where they spent what people contributed everything. Go and look at their
the accounts that they gave.
Yes, what they spent on litigation. It was Peter Obi that spent money on these lawyers. So the whole party, what they spent to proceed the election, or it's coming faster than his time, or it refused. Okay, let me tell you something. I'm saying this, there is a responsibility. When we brought the Labour Party governorship candidate in Lagos State, came to the guy in the super was still there to our television. And it's a few days, I think, to the election. 2 days election. He said something. He said he now begin to realize that people, if you don't give them money, who to come to the meeting is a problem. So we say you have to go and meet them where they are. The level they are is that if you don't give them money, they will not come out. So we're meeting. And that's the truth. Even if they pretend coming out on the day of the election, they see a constant water supply, constant opportunity. You fight corruption, you give them good schools. My brother, our people are yet to understand that one. That's the reality. So how Peter Obi will balance all these things, we will have loved some of us that they take decision. You and I will not be among the party leaders that will consider all variables, including watching. Because in Nigeria, even that's all your people want, Nigeria today, everybody was underestimating the power of money. Money, I think, is not speaking the language of politics.
Deny the fact that our electoral system has been so monetized. It's not even about the allegations or the videos of observing million for the APC. I'm wondering what the presidential nomination form for the APC will be in 2026, because it's going to be in 2026, and I'm sure it had Honorable George Ashiru, the Lagos State chapter chairman of the ADC, in the studio with us. He was talking about the fact that we're just building our structure. We're trying to see how big we can actually go. Well, the wave of movement into the ADC is also building up in ones and in twos. The member representing Ojo Federal Constituency, yes, Honorable Sɪᴛᴜᴛᴇʀ had also announced that he's joining Peter Obi in the ADC. So we have Honorable George. The member representing Awka North and South Federal Constituency, Professor Obi Lilian Orogbu, popularly known as Polo, shall also announced a defection to the ADC. So within the last 24, 48 hours or thereabouts, we've seen about 4 or 5 House of Reps members in days more of same would follow. But let's keep our fingers crossed. Mr. Adeyemi had opened all of the conversation for us today. He's told us the role and money we play in this conversation, in this election. He had also told us what Atiku Abubakar, how much of a factor Atiku Abubakar will be in this conversation. If he chooses to run, where does he put that issue around the north or the south? If he chooses to step down and support a candidate, it's in terms of money, with the former minister of transport, former governor of Rivers, and start wishing away how monetized our electoral process 2025, and it's going to be a game changer in 2026. Is the new tax laws that's taking effect today, the 1st of January 2026. There's been a lot of sensitization, even on this platform. Every single Friday of the last 3 Fridays leading to the end of 2025, I had a tax explanation and a lot of, how do I put it now, tax-paying nation in Africa. We have less than 5. But are Nigerians truly ready for this new tax regime that took effect already today?
And there's nowhere in the world now the taxman, especially where I think at times to tax almost everything. I think the reality has come that if a lot of objectives, even before we go to them, they evaluate and do whatever, because I don't want to be embarrassed. Right? So what the provision they are giving us, they are asking me to pay tax. Since I'm talking to you, I'm using solar in my house to charge the gadgets. So when they bring light, maybe power supply, maybe 2 hours, I think in 24 hours, I don't know. So you can see where I run my work, but that is not how a country is run. We have to do your own one. When we do our own as Nigerians, that's when we have the moral right to demand, I think, for people, I think, how they spend our money. And that's why, the reason why most of us Nigerians don't so much interested in accountability and asking for that from our government money. So I mean, looking at there, nothing, I'm not getting it from there, and I'm not using anything. So when we are losing, we're not losing. But when we are paying now, as the guy goes, they said, let's hope that more Nigerians will be interested in demanding for accountability. Now, the new tax we are talking about, we knew the politics before it started, and how it came through, when they first brought it, how some people just said it should be thrown away, right? Or returned, or just be thrown away. You understand? And how Mr. President understood his ground that no, go and discuss it. And these whole sections, paragraphs you don't want, go and rework it. You can't throw it away. And in Nigeria is without tax, unless you, unless you, but most countries, and Britain or Europe, most European countries survive mainly on taxation. But that's not the case in Nigeria now. So what we are saying on this new tax law is that something has existed that it is taking effect today. So whether we like it or not, don't think anybody has any grounds against it. They are so to court and challenge it. Maybe there are some gray areas and maybe they are not properly taken care of. And but again, to say that some people, some states that they enjoy, they have never paid and are enjoying the most from Nigerian collectives from our Commonwealth will continue. No. That's what I'm saying. People in Lagos, one way or the other, pay tax. You have not only tax, a lot of levy you pay to survive, to live in this Lagos state. But in some states, nothing is happening. But because shares are paying, they all leave their state. Everybody will not want to come to Lagos. You know what I'm saying? Because of maybe whether the economy or the kind of little social amenities they think Lagos is offering, they don't have in their state. So when the records are there, and they go and look at the IGR, our people in the north are not used to pay. So just Google, I think, what is the IGR of Kano or Sokoto or Kebbi, and how much they are getting from the federal allocation. You understand? Look at the IGR, look at the tax, look at everything. See how much they are generating. Why? There's commerce there, right? So only money, they are only getting money from payee, Lagos, Port Harcourt, and whatever new cities is, and the people are just enjoying free benefit days, whether you pay tax or not. Must that continue? So if you are saying that should not continue, then if your state allow you not to pay that tax, right? So be it. You understand? Must you now depend on sharing from those state people, other states that are paying tax? Must we continue with that system? Well, I think even for the purpose of fairness and equity, right? What the federal civil servant has in Sokoto, we have said that one. Then we are now saying that if you say you don't consume alcohol, you don't want it in your state. I agree with you, because I believe principle of federalism. And they now say, well, if consumption, anything alcohol is around, the proceeds from that around cannot be allowed, like what do you call it? So you understand? It cannot be. It cannot be. I should not expect to partake in the sharing of the money from it. So I don't know why this has become social media and say the tax to do this. When you pay somebody money, you must put this, you must put that. Nigerians should not be that panicked. So all this misinformation coming out, whatever will come out from the tax office, the federal ministry, at least to be aware of in this new dispensation of this new regime, tax regime. So let Nigeria not be too, let's say, agitated about it. No. If tax says they are exempting people of low income from paying, then at times, which happen next year, why you and I should be agitated? If they are saying people like Oᴘᴇýᴇ and go out to pay more, why must I fight their bread? And that people of low income are being exempted. But if their policy of dragging more people into the tax net. People are exempting payment, and they are bringing them. So if you own a shop, and then every year you are posting 1 billion profit, or you are posting 100 million profit, and when they ask what you are paying as tax, and you are saying, you don't give me life. Now, she was exempted from paying tax in a country where I want more money. So if they say, we are meant to know and understand, but we are waiting, why should we not continue to fight the battle of the middle, if we have middle income or whatever we have, rich people? So nobody wants to pay tax. I'm telling you the truth. Even the rich men. That is only in Nigeria you see somebody having 2 Lamborghini, 3 Lamborghini, power supply is on generator 24 and emitting smokes, polluting environment, but ask them the tax certificate. The story begins by attacking the government. But forgetting that they are making money from that system. That's as poor as that system is, they are making money. So most of our listeners, that is, you are not in their class, that you have to pay, let them pay. If they are making money from the system,
they should return to the system.
You hear all these footballers, whatever in the UK, that they pay as tax. Go and see. And economic crime is difficult. People carry goes to death. If you kill somebody, it's only one person you kill. They look at that matter. But if you get taxes, serious leaders around us there that evaded tax abroad, ran to Nigeria, Africa, and will never go back there. So what I'm saying is that let's wait and be specific on those areas we didn't like about the tax law and attack those areas. But to me now, I'm yet to see where I'm going to condemn. I'm yet to see one. I'm used to see it, and I listen to people when it comes to implementation. If there are areas they are defaulting, yes, we'll come out on them. But to fight the battle,
endless interviews that Mr. Taiwo Oyedele had done in the last 1 month, and I mean, brilliant man, all of that. But I mean, for someone that had consulted for IMF and big multinational companies, and he was talking about something you just made reference to now. He said, what a lot of people don't know is that that's the tax, that the rich people are the ones sponsoring influencers to, post issues against the tax few months because of the conversation we usually have on radio, Mr. DM, so that you don't have a deeper understanding about it. I've been paying my tax for a very long time. And if you read through this new tax policy, especially now that the whole system has been harmonized, then you understand the fact that if you're in before now, but I think a lot of more sensitization still needs to be done. And just like you said, do you throw the entire reform away? No. What parts are you not comfortable with? What part of the reforms, the new tax law, do you think does not exactly sit well with you? The 6 to the House. A larger percentage of that budget is going to be financed by the tax. So they already included the tax targets into it. So we should just get, let's see how we get used to the new regime and then work things out. Mr. Miwademi, it's always an amazing time when we have you on a Thursday, but it's even more amazing that we're starting the year with you. Thank you for your enlightenment on the show today, and Happy New Year to you, Mr. Adeyemi.
Thank you very much, and we learned in us moment, and it's the enjoy of this program. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you very just a few months before the end of the year 2025, and is now the chief editor at sentinelnews.ng. Is an online platform that gives you up-to-date information, news, breaking news, and everything you need to know. So here we go. Welcome to the new tax regime. Beyond the change of nomenclature from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, I hope you would also get used to the new policies that a lot of us may not exactly be comfortable with at first, but I'm sure that as we move on, we'll find our balance and then we'll find a way around it. I just want to use this last few minutes on the show to remember the people that we lost. People lost their lives in 2025 and the year that was. You want to put it in that context and not skipping anyone. I just sat down earlier today and I was just trying to, just keep through some of the major issues or stories that we had in 2025. Former President Muhammadu Buhari, Nigerian president from 2015 to 2023. Of course, Pa Edwin Clark, a politician, and Olakunleyin, Pa Adebanjo, the former national chairman of the PDP and former minister of Agric, that's Chief Audu Ogbe. Sorry, apologies, please. Awujale of Egbaland. Of Ijebuland, apologies for that. I just said I like you of Egbaland. Awujale of Ijebuland. Of course, the former spokesman to Goodluck Jonathan, talking about Dr. Donyo Kukpe. Of course, the legendary goalkeeper was the last African Cup of Nations that we won in 2013 at the FMD Stadium in South Africa. We also lost him in 2025. Pope Francis, yes. We also lost him in 2025. Diogo Jota, the Liverpool season in August. Of course, one of the so quite a lot of people. But that correction again, the Awujale, a new year and a new you. Because if you don't put the right foot forward, if you don't get the right energy, you're certainly going to struggle with the year. Welcome to 2026. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m., same station. Your Super Dial Milan 98.3. Next up is Milan FM Global News at 5:30, and I'll come back as well for the Sport Cruise by 6 p.m. What a year we're excited about. Women African Cup of Nations, the Summer Olympics, the FIFA World Cup, and of course, don't forget that the African Cup of Nations is still playing on the 5th of January. My name is 광 Okpeyemi, and keep your dial locked on Milan 98.3. Don't worry, I'll get used to 20.